Traditionalists tonight. A tale of two intense issues in the culture war. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. There is no question that secular progressives, emboldened by the Obama presidency, are trying to change this country in very significant ways. Opposed to that change are many conservatives and independent traditional Americans who see the progressive vision as destructive. The debate's very intense, with the media pretty much always siding with the secular progressive forces. Right now, many in the press are openly hostile to the conservative point of view. Therefore, traditional Americans must make their case in very persuasive ways in order to win the day. Two examples. First, abortion. According to a Fox News Opinion Dynamics poll in 1997, not that long ago, 40% of Americans described themselves as pro-life. 50%, half the country, said they were pro-choice. But 14 years later, that had completely turned around. 50% of Americans put themselves in the pro-life category, while just 42% say they were pro-choice. So how and why did that happen? Two reasons. Number one, science established that DNA is present upon conception. So the pro-abortion people can no longer say a human presence is not affected by abortion. It is. And if you destroy a human presence, you'd better have a pretty darn good reason for doing so. That is, if you want to be a civilized society. Second reason, pro-life forces did not link abortion to sin. They largely kept theology out of it. And so we now see states like North Dakota, Arkansas, passing laws that better protect unborn babies, and there will be more states that do that. That's a huge win for traditional forces in America. But on the gay marriage front, it's a far different story. Here's what I said to Megyn Kelly last week. The compelling argument is on the side of homosexuals. That's where the compelling argument is. We're Americans. We just want to be treated like everybody else. That is a compelling argument. And to deny that, you got to have a very strong argument on the other side.
And the
other side hasn't been able to do anything but thump the Bible. Now, that analysis is essentially correct. Anti-gay marriage forces, not individuals, forces, have not seized upon one central persuasive argument like the human DNA component. And so those who oppose gay marriage are scattered all over the place. And many of them are using the Bible as their basis to reject homosexual nuptials. That's a loser all day, every day in our secular court system, which I believe is largely hostile to religious expression. Now, there is a strong argument against gay marriage, that it expands marriage opportunity to just one group, gay people. That excludes all others who may want to marry under different circumstances. Also, traditional marriage has been a societal stabilizer, and in many states is favored by the majority of the folks. So if you grant homosexuals civil union status, whereby they get the legal rights of marriage, then the states should decide the nuptials issue for themselves. Bottom line, the federal government has no constitutional authority to impose gay marriage on the nation. Now that is a strong argument, and that's the memo. Now for the top story tonight, reaction. Let's bring back attorney and Fox News anchor Megyn Kelly. And you say?
Well, I don't know about a couple of those arguments you just offered, but I will say the business about traditional marriage being the history and the basis behind it for a stable relationship and children, that has been articulated by the pro-traditional marriage people, although not as concisely and cohesively as you would like. I mean, there hasn't been
No, as you would like. I'm not.
As you're saying they need to do. And let me just say
as I'm saying they need to do if they want to win the legal argument.
I completely get that. And I'll tell you,
why don't others get it?
It was a week ago that we sat here, less than a week ago, that we sat here and debated the gay marriage issue and how it had gone at the U.S. Supreme Court. And now you've gotten all this blowback because you said some people thump the Bible, and that can't be the argument to win this case. Well, I've been sitting across this desk from you for 8+ years doing various legal debates. And it didn't jump out at me when you said it as a problem statement. It doesn't jump out at me now as a problem statement. And why is that? Because at no point did I think that you were being pejorative of the religious right or people who believe in their religious ideals in terms of opposing gay marriage. Now, why don't I believe that? Because I know you, like your viewers know you. Now, the haters are always going to hate on you, and they're going to perceive everything you say in a way that's least favorable to you and most controversial. But I ask you, truly, who in the country has been more out in front when it comes to defending religious liberty than you? I mean, for 8 years I've sat across this desk from you, and you choose the topics, not me, and you have told me you want me to look into why aren't they allowing the 10 Commandments on public property? Why are they kicking Jesus and God out of all school? Why can't a kid say a private prayer? Why can't doctors and pharmacists practice their religion? What rights do people have under Obamacare now that they're being told they have to dole out contraceptives? This is stuff you have brought to the national forefront on the most powerful show in all of cable news, and I'm not kissing your butt. This is fact. So when you sit across from me and you say you can't just thump the Bible all day long, I don't hear this is a man who doesn't like people who believe in the Bible. I hear this is a man who needs a short form an argument so we can say, is the religious argument going to win? Is it going to be persuasive, or do they have to find something else? And that is what you and I are discussing.
And they have to find something else.
That is
you
what
agree
you and I
with
are
that,
discussing.
right?
Of course they do.
Of course they have to.
The 9 justices on the U.S. Supreme Court are not going to base their ruling on religion.
So if you know that and I know that, and I would say 75% of the Factor viewers know that, the other 25% that were upset and wanted to be upset over this comment, and then the demagogues on the right primarily who threw it back at me. Why do they do that? Because they know, they have to know, that if you bring in a religious theological argument to any court in this country...
Because it's about you.
Okay, so it's a power thing then, right?
It's about a dislike of you. I mean...
No, but it's not a personal dislike, because they don't even know me.
Yes, it is.
No, it's a power thing. It's a power thing.
No, it could also be a personal dislike. No, listen, you know, in this business, you're not loved by everybody. You're loved by as you point out. Every year you win the most trusted and liked broadcaster and the least trusted and most disliked broadcaster. You win both every year. But listen, the people who don't like you and don't believe in your message and maybe are not happy with the success you've had will always interpret what you say in the most negative way.
Yes, I know that.
And that's true for some of the people who hate the Fox News channel.
The reason they seized upon this issue, okay, is to try to diminish the power of the program. Look, the liberal cable network has been trying to do that for years. They got nowhere with it, all right? They're still getting their butt kicked every single night, and they will continue to do so. But they don't stop. But the right, some people, all right, they don't want a non-ideological guy assuming this kind of power.
That's the thing about you, Bill, is that, you know, a lot of people will say to me when I'm out there in the world, you're like, oh, you got to rally that conservative. And I tell them he is not a conservative. And that upsets some conservatives because they'd like you to be a little bit more to the right on issues
some issues I'm
about.
conservative on, and some issues I'm not
But I think you are a traditionalist on most family issues, and I think you are a populist on a lot of issues. But I do think when it comes to religious liberty, you've been pretty consistent over the years that we've been working together.
Well, good. Kelly, I'm glad you absorbed all that, and we're able to
I found some nice things to say. But truly, I thought about this a lot because I saw you take a lot of heat. And as somebody who knows you and works with you, I do think that it was